Hey, what's up, team? Hope you guys are doing good. I want to give some shout outs tonight. I'm going to go ahead. A lot of people posted their questions earlier today, so we'll go through those questions. And then I wanted to just give you guys an assignment. We did this last challenge group, and it really was good. So I'll give that at the end, and we'll see how many people are actually tuning into these calls, watching them all the way through. We're going to try to keep the call. I'm going to try to keep it 30 minutes. I think I'll be able to do that tonight because a lot of you guys are rolling, and you're getting hanging in nutrition. I can tell because the questions have went down a little bit. So I think we've been seeing lots of good results. Everybody's doing really good. Let's see. I wrote this down. I don't know why I didn't write Lauren's last name, but just to do shout outs, Lauren is down a pound this week. I'm sorry, Lauren, I did not write your last name down. I don't know what's wrong with me. Ashley Little is down 4 pounds. And Alyssa Bunting is down 24.5 inches. Amber Nelson is down 67 pounds. She's about to go on our Wall of Fame for the 75-pound group, which leads me to another question. If you guys lose 50, 75, or 100 pounds, there's a file section titled Hall of Fame. Go ahead and put your name on there. We've got like 4 or 5 people that have lost over 100 pounds, a bunch that have lost over 75 and 50. So really, really very cool. Natasha Fernandez is down 24.5 pounds. Angela Gray is down 14 pounds, 10.5 inches. Emily Grable is down 11 pounds. And Deanna Baudreau is down 24 pounds, 11.4 inches. I know we have a lot more than that, but those are the only ones that I saw that actually updated the files. And then I saw Deanna's post, so I wanted to give her a special shout out because she posted her 30-day pictures and she looks amazing and she's crushing it. So awesome job, guys. Keep plugging along. Let's just go right to the questions. Kim, do you want to read these or you want me to just read them?
Greg's got them.
Oh, cool. All right.
I do.
put you on the spot.
Hang on just a second.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Oh, and I've slowed down to like a pound every 2 weeks, so I'm at 110 pounds.
That's amazing, man. 110 pounds. What's your calorie intake right now?
I just went up to 2,100.
Good.
I've been adding about 100 every week, and I'm still losing like half a pound a week.
That's awesome, man. Good for you. So it does work, right?
Yeah, and everybody's always doubting in that, and I don't know why, but
Yeah. Yeah, I had a huge mental block with it too. I just didn't think it would work, and I never gave it a chance. But it works. 110 pounds. Crazy. Did you submit your results to the Beachbody Challenge?
I did. Kim and I are both going because we got contacted by Success Stories, and we are filming probably tomorrow some footage because they want to use it for an infomercial for the P90X3.
That rocks, man. Good.
So we're doing
Good,
that.
good.
Yeah. Here you go. I found the questions.
All right, cool.
All right. Last week in our call, we talked about injuries.
Yeah.
And Christy had a question. Hang on just a second. So the question is how to mentally deal with injury. How to adjust the nutrition and macros to take into account reduced activity, and then how to mentally deal with injury.
Yeah, so I would say definitely go back and watch last week's call because we actually talked about this quite a bit, and I won't go into it a whole lot tonight since we went over it last week. But obviously, when you're hurt, if you hurt your upper body, you can still work your lower body. You can still have your nutrition dialed in. if you hurt your lower body, you can still work your upper body and your abs for the most part and still have your nutrition locked in. If you hurt your abs like I did about 2 weeks ago, I tore my abdominal wall, for those of you that don't know. Really, you know, if you tear your abdominal wall, upper body and lower body is kind of out. You're pretty much stuck in the water. So, you know, the only thing I could do for that week and a half was just rest and make sure my nutrition was locked in. So my calories were at about 2,700 a day. And I just took, you know, what I guessed that I normally burned in my workouts and took those calories off of my total. So I went down to about 2,200 calories a day, kept eating all the same foods. When I came back and I was able to start working out, I actually gained a pound, which is, you know, like I always say, that's just noise. You know, it's not really that big of a deal. My body fat was pretty much the same. And I came back and felt as strong as ever. So I think what you guys need to do, sometimes your body needs a break. You know, sometimes a week to deload or take a break is a good thing to kind of reset your hormone levels and just give all those areas that you're just pounding every week, give them a chance to totally recover. And you might be surprised you come back a little stronger. It depends how bad the injury is and how long you're out. You know, I talked about deloading. Sometimes just taking a week where you're not maxing out on your weights or, you know, whatever program you're doing, and maybe you just do a week where you're at like 60%. I mean, you're still getting the work in, but you're just not completely taxing your body. And I take about two of those weeks a year. So for me, you know, I hurt my abdominal wall, and it really sucked not to be able to work out, but I knew it was time for my body to kind of rest anyway because I had been really hitting it hard. And you know, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So my big goal isn't for, you know, another year from now. So I have plenty of time. It's, you know, 1 week's not going to hurt me of downtime. Even 2-3 weeks of downtime is not going to hurt you. And what you guys really need to focus on is, if you come back too soon, you're going to re-injure that, and when you re-injure it, you're likely to injure it again and again and again. So you got to make sure that that your body is fully healed before you come back from an injury. I saw. Yeah. What was the other part of the question? Was that it? Did I answer it all?
Yeah, just I think how to mentally deal with it, and I would love to put my 2 cents in here from a woman's perspective. And it took me a long time to learn this, but what you said rings true about not freaking out about a pound here or there. I probably drove Greg nuts many times, freaking out about, oh my gosh, I put on a pound, oh my gosh, you know. It's your weight is going to fluctuate, and that's okay. And you know, don't freak out about a pound here or there. If overall you are losing, you're doing great. And so not to get wrapped up in that, and it can be very tempting when that happens to, you know, to go really low calorie or do something, you know, to change things, and just it's important not to get caught up in that. And so same thing with injury, you know, don't freak out about it. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to, basically what you said. So
yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kim.
No, a good follow-up to that, though, because Jennifer Laura asked about the difference between being sore and an actual injury. How do you know the difference? Like right now, it's the beginning of football season, and the coaches always say there's a difference between pain and injury. How do you know the difference and when you need to stop and when you can just push through the soreness?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, obviously to me there's a very distinct difference between being sore, excuse me, having like a burning sensation in the muscle, or actually tearing the muscle and it physically hurting. You know, it shouldn't physically hurt. It definitely, when you're working out, you know, you should get to a point where the muscle burns. But generally, if you give yourself, if you're not working the same muscle group, you know, day after day, and you're giving yourself time to recover. You know, I usually give myself 24 to 48 hours to recover for each muscle group. So if I hit chest one day, chest and triceps, I don't hit that area again at least for another 2 days. If that time on the schedule comes up and I'm still really sore, I listen to my body. You know, you guys can work in, only you know your body. So you guys have to realize these programs are written kind of with averages taken in mind. So, you know, they don't know how your specific body is going to react to things. So if you need to take longer to rest a certain muscle group, don't worry about taking longer to rest that muscle group. When I first started working out, I never worked out legs. And legs for me, 2 days after I worked legs, I was nearly crippled. I mean, I could barely walk up and down the stairs. I mean, physically hurt walking. I wasn't injured. I could tell the difference, and you'll just know if you're really injured. But had I came back and worked legs when the schedule said to, I could have injured myself, because what you're doing when you're working out, you're creating micro trauma and small tears, and if you don't give your body time to heal properly, you're just going to make those worse and eventually create an injury. So I would have to wait. I would have to push legs back a little bit until I wasn't so sore I couldn't move. Because for some reason I just, you know, some people will build up lactic acid more than other people and just have more pain in certain areas. But for me, legs was, now I don't really feel that when I work legs because I work them all the time. But before it was horrible. What's up, Larry? I don't know if he can hear me or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, did that answer that question?
Yep. Kim Dworick had a really great question too. She'd like to hear from each of the coaches what it was like for them in the first 90-day challenge that they did, when it's not always easy to do all the moves because you're too heavy and out of shape. And how they compensated for that. And Greg and I can definitely speak to that. When we first started, I was telling somebody tonight, I couldn't even do a sit-up when we first did P90X, it was I couldn't really do push-ups. I couldn't really do much of anything, and so what I did is I just modified. You know, I did what I could do as much as I could do, and you know, to look at me now compared to then, you know, it's an amazing transformation and it's an amazing difference. And the things that I can do now, I never thought I would be able to do. So it might not seem like much. Start out small, do what you can do. You will get better. You will get stronger. You'll be able to do more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would just add to that. So when I started, you all know I was like 267 pounds. I couldn't do a lot of the moves, and I actually have a lot of beginners at our gym that will come to my P90X class. And here's what I always do: I take a move and I break it into 3 parts. So let's just take push-up for an example. So my level 1 for push-ups will be obviously push-ups on your knees, okay? Your level 2 is going to be you're in plank, and you might only do like quarter push-ups. You may not go all the way down, but you're bending your elbows just slightly to kind of get used to it, build up your core strength. And then your level 3 is obviously all the way down and all the way up. So I usually try to break a move down into 2 or 3 parts, level 1, 2, and 3. And if you're strong enough, start at level level 3. So if you're strong enough, start with a full push-up if you can, and regress to level 2 and 3. Now, if you can't do a full push-up, maybe you're starting at level 2. Maybe you're doing quarter push-ups until you can't do any quarter push-ups anymore, and then you're dropping to your knees. Maybe quarter push-ups is not something you can do, so maybe you start and you just hold plank to kind of develop your core strength and your back and your chest a little bit. Then you drop to your knees. You might be somebody where your lower back just isn't strong enough. Your core isn't strong enough to support plank. So you're starting with a push-up on your knees. Each week you try to go to the next level. So if you're somebody who started with just level 1s, just knee push-ups, next week you try to hold plank and see if you can do it. And if you can't, that's okay. The next week you try again. Eventually you're going to start holding plank. Eventually you're going to start doing quarter push-ups, and eventually you're going to start doing full push-ups. And it's going to get easier and easier as the weight comes off because you're pushing up less and less weight, and you're getting stronger and stronger. Does that help?
Yeah, and I know with P90X and with Body Beast, you keep like worksheets and you write down what you do. And if you don't do that, keep a journal of your workout, and then you can look back and see 1 week ago I could do 2 sit-ups. Now 3 weeks later I'm doing 7 sit-ups, and then you've got that little victory to cheer about.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's real important for people not to just start at the easiest level that they know they can do. I mean, you need to push yourself, but you need to do it safely. So that's why I always tell the people in my class, you know, if you think you need help, let me come over and watch you. But try to start at the highest level you think you can safely start at, and do as much as you can there, and then go down. And go regress. And every week you're going to be able to do a little bit more and a little bit more. I really don't like, and I know Tony Horton's the same way, but I really don't like when women just do push-ups on their knees. They're really not developing their core strength and developing all the muscles they need to do a regular push-up. That's why a lot of women never progress to doing full push-ups. So in my class, if they can't do a full push-up, I at least, if they have the core strength, the lower back strength, I at least try to get them to hold plank for as long as they can, and then drop to their knees and do push-ups on their knees after they've tried to hold plank for a little bit. And then the next week, I have them try to do a little quarter push-ups, you know, just as little as they can. And eventually, every female in my class is busting out push-ups, and they're really excited.
Yeah. All right, our next one. We had a question. She was wondering if anyone else ever quit after they started seeing results and noticing good changes. This person has done that. She says she finally broke through it last week, but you know, I think that we've all had, you know, before we were doing it the right way, kind of yo-yo dieting and maybe not doing it as healthy as we should have. But
yeah, I think everybody goes through that. You know, don't beat yourself up. You're still in the group, and you're still trying. I couldn't even tell you how many times I started and stopped working out before I did P90X. I know I tried to train for, it seems hilarious now, but like a 5K seemed like an impossible feat for me when I started. And I tried to train for a couple 5Ks and quit, and never ran them, and eventually finally did. But you know, I think that's just normal. So don't beat yourself up. Just keep trying. Baby steps. Don't be hard on yourself. I say that all the time because I see it so much in my clients that I think the #1 thing that stops them in their tracks is that rather than being happy about the small changes and the small progressions they're making, they're disappointed that they're not across the finish line, which may be years down the road. All these people, all you guys are concentrating on is being 8% body fat and having an amazing body, which is 2 years down the road, when you should be happy that you're in here doing more than 90% of the country. Most people are on the couch eating chips. You guys are actively working to be better, to be around for your family, and that's the kind of stuff you guys need to appreciate and love, and not focus way down the road. I know it's hard because I do it too. I know everybody does, but try just not to focus so far down the road and beat yourself up because you're not there yet. You'll get there.
Yeah, I'll just throw in too, like, don't think that like everybody holds like 4% body fat year round. I mean, professional athletes, yeah, they have the prime season where they're in the best shape that they can be in, but then, they have an off season to where they relax a little bit and, they get to do some of the things they haven't done during the season. So, Sean T's abs don't look like that year round. I'm sure that, there are times that they look better than others. So it's kind of unrealistic. I mean, think about all the people that are in the Beast Classic. They trained super hard, in the weeks leading up to that, but I guarantee you not many of them look that good right now.
Yeah.
So, you have a period that you're going to really push yourself, and then you got to enjoy life a little bit, and then buckle back down. So.
And the other big thing is that you just got to remember that you didn't gain all this weight in 2 weeks, and you're not going to lose it all in 2 weeks. It takes time.
Yeah.
Do we have a next one?
Hey, can I back up too? I didn't want to interrupt you guys about some of the previous questions.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
I just took some notes. So, the question about like how to handle being injured. I'm guilty. I haven't seen last week's call, so I don't know if you talked about this or not.
No, it's all right.
My big thing is what I try and tell people is if you can try and stay in the routine at least of doing something. Like, if you hurt your leg or your knees or something like that, do something to work your upper body. But I would still try and make sure, like, if you do workouts at 5 a.m., I would still try and, like, do your workouts at 5 a.m. I'm really guilty of this, like, after a big race, if I take some time off, it's really, really hard for me to get back to it. So I think that staying in the routine as much as possible can really help you when you do start to feel better because you haven't broken that routine. So I think that's a big key, just staying focused and staying with it. Like if you can do a stretch routine, if that's all you can do, I would still get up and do a stretch routine. If you can do a little harder workout in your upper body or lower body or whatever part of you that's not broken, I would still try and do that as much as I could. With the soreness versus being hurt, for me, when you start getting your body warmed up and you start stretching and get into a little bit of the workout, usually the soreness for me loosens up and it kind of lightens a little bit. But if I'm hurt, the warm up and getting into the routine, it hurts. So that's kind of the difference to me. So maybe that'll kind of help you identify it a little bit. Now, I've seen people. I have a good friend who did P90X and he did chest and back, and he literally, like the first workout, he literally couldn't raise his arm like above his ear.
That was me.
Yeah, and you can really overdo it, I think, early on. But in that case, like I said, you just need more time to recover and to let that heal up. I see it with Insanity a lot. I mean, you're literally working out your legs every day, 6 days a week. And when I got to month 2, I mean, I had a conversation with Lance. I was like, my jump, I can't jump. Like, I can't do some of the stuff I would, like, even close to what I was doing, a couple weeks ago. And I just, I'd run my body into the ground and I had to take some days off. So yeah, like, I think the programs are designed to keep you in a routine, because I think that's a huge part of it. But it's not for everybody. And if you have to take more time to recover, I mean, you got to listen to your body. So yeah. That's it.
Yeah, you actually made me think of something else, and this is more probably for the guys doing Body Beast, and this is my personal opinion and just what I've always gone by. So I see lots of guys with wraps and braces and you know you can't even see an inch of their skin because they've got elbow sleeves, knee sleeves, wraps around their wrists, trying to push ridiculous amounts of weight. To me, I don't. Now it depends. You know, if you've got a knee issue, obviously a brace is a good thing. But for the wraps and all that stuff, I don't use any wraps or any braces of any kind. I don't have any injuries. But the reason I don't is because I feel like, and this is my personal opinion, but I feel like if I need wraps to support my wrists or other body parts, my joints and ligaments have not adapted to that weight, and my body is not ready for it. So I avoid it. I don't go up in weight until I feel like I don't need the wraps or the extra support. Now I do use a belt because you know, I do protect my lower back. So belts are different. But and then the other thing I do is when I hit a PR, so when I hit a personal record on a lift or whatever, I'll draw a little up arrow on my worksheets, and then the next week, I mean, I don't do an up arrow on a personal record. It'll just be a line. And the reason I draw a line and not another up arrow is because I don't want to hit, and this is just me personally, I don't want to hit a personal record 2 weeks in a row. I like to make sure that my body and my joints and my ligaments and everything, tendons have adapted and are okay with that weight, so I don't push it too much and hurt myself. And that's just a way I've avoided injury for so long. It doesn't work when you're wakeboarding, but it's worked for me lifting weights. So that's just, you know, that's something that I'm throwing out there. If you guys do that or not, I don't know, but I don't like to go up in weights, you know, every week. I like to give my body a chance to catch up all the other parts. So
I'm pretty much the same way with the reps. Like, I feel like if you need reps to push that heavy, then your muscles and your body's not ready for it. So there's no reason for it.
Yeah.
All right. June,
Yeah. One more question. Kim Dworak is asking about. She's looking at her macros, and she feels like at the end of the day, all she's eating is protein. And I think what she's getting at is, does it get easier? One, and then second, how big of a deal is it if you don't hit that every day?
So it depends. It depends what kind of workout she's doing. And I'm not sure. Does anybody know what workout she's doing?
She's been doing, I know what she can of P90X.
Oh, okay. So, you know, if you're doing a pretty rigorous program like P90X and you're working out 6 days a week, that 0.8 grams to 1 gram per pound is good. So if you don't hit your 50% protein, it's really okay. It's not, you know, it's not the end of the world. Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my computer's doing something weird. It's not the end of the world. You know, the protein's more important when you're at a calorie deficit, and we're not going to keep you at that 50% protein forever. That's not our goal. Our goal is to eventually get you to up your carbs when your body fat drops enough, and get you to, you know, 40% protein or 40% carbs or even 50% carbs. You know, I've been hitting close to 50% carbs and I'm not gaining weight. So we don't. Yeah. So yes, it gets easier in the fact that you don't have to hit that protein number forever. But for me, I always like to be at around 1 gram per pound or 0.8 grams per pound. Sometimes I'm a little over that, and then I always just try to keep my body or I always try to keep the fat between 20 and 30%, and then the carbs are wherever they're going to be, and it works out. You're going to hit your calories that way. You have anything to add to that, Larry?
No, that sounded good. I mean, like Lane said, you're not going to be on this forever. And kind of what I've seen in a recent article was that when you're first starting out, the high protein is really good because your muscle is going to adapt really quickly. And my personal feeling is that helps your muscles kind of get through that quick adaptation phase. But I also think that it really helps you feel full, and it keeps you from overindulging in carbs and just calories in general. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world if you're slipping under 50%. You know, we've always said that calories is the number one goal, and macros are kind of the secondary goal. So.
Yeah, and last week's call, Alan referenced one of the studies about higher protein diets. It's a really good study, and I don't want to butcher all the facts, but if you go back and watch last week's call, it's on there. It talks about, you know, higher protein diets, but again, you know, you're only going to be there for a while, and then we're going to adjust it. And as you increase your metabolism and you can go up in calories, you're not going to be at 50% protein. So, you know, that's going to go down. What else we got? Anything else?
Yeah, we had somebody comment about that they keep kind of going away from their diet for a few days and then coming back to it and then going away and coming back, and they want to know if there's a way to curb that. Other than just committing and sticking to it, you know.
Set yourself a goal to stick to it for 2 weeks and do some kind of reward for 2 weeks, because I think you'll really be surprised at how your taste will change for some of the cleaner foods if you get away from the processed stuff for a good 2 weeks. If you can do it for a good 3 to 4 weeks, I think you'll be even more blown away. I mean, I did not. I mean, you're looking at a candy holic. I mean, like, I drank liters of soda, bags of candy at a time, and now, like, after eating clean for, you know, a month, the first time I didn't eat a lot of fruit, and the first time I had an apple, I literally almost couldn't eat it because it was tasted so sweet to me after just really sticking to a hard, you know, high protein, low carb diet for a good 3 to 4 weeks. If you end up in this cycle of I'm doing it a couple days, but then I'm going back to fast food and you know, some of the processed foods, you're not going to get through that stage. You know, things like French fries are not going to taste good. All these things that you're used to loving, like, when your taste buds get that out of your system, you're really going to be like, I can't believe I like that. You know, I'm not saying I don't ever have French fries or I don't ever have a piece of cheesecake, but more times than not, I eat it and then I'm like I really didn't want that. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, if you can set yourself hardcore for a good 2 to 4 weeks, and then, you know, buy yourself some new workout clothes or some kind of reward if you stick to it. So
Yeah. That's a great idea.
The only unanswered question on the list was Ivy wanted to know when the shirts for the Perfection Crew are going out.
Yeah, I saw that, and actually I was going to answer that too. So I have the design, and David is actually helping me because I'm having a problem. We're going to use I'm going to use Teespring because we love the shirts that they have, and we cannot get the design uploaded to their site, so we're working on it. So I hope really soon. It should be really soon. David should have that uploaded, and we should be good to go. So, and then I'll get them all ordered for you guys, and then just ship them directly to you. So,
awesome.
I did see some other questions too. Oh, let's see. These are awesome. I'm glad you guys you're asking some great questions. Brittany wanted to know if there's any way to calculate body fat percentage without the little machine thing. Is she talking about fat calipers?
Or
I know.
maybe about the scale.
Yeah, if you're talking about the scale, then yes. And actually, there's a more accurate way of doing it with fat calipers, and you can get them online. They're like $15, and you just take a couple pinches in different spots, and then plug the numbers into a website. There's also you can also do it with a tape measure. The tape, there's a couple websites out there. If you just Google them, do body fat percentage with tape measure, and it's going to have you take measurements in certain areas and put your weight and age and gender, and then it'll spit out your body fat. And it's actually probably more accurate than the scale I found, but not as accurate as the body fat calipers. The most accurate are those where you submerge yourself in water. That's the most accurate, but not everybody has access to those, including myself. I wish I did. So let's see, what else? Natasha said my metabolism is on fire, but I'm starving. Losing pounds, losing inches, 1600. Should I try for 40-40-20 or increase my calories? You're at 1600, good, and you're losing weight and everything, so it sounds like your metabolism is on fire. Yeah, I'd go up. The more you can eat and still lose weight, the better. So just keep increasing it. If you're still losing weight, it's going to be better in the long run. And yeah, you can go. If you've been on Fat Shredder for a while, the 50-30-20, I would definitely go to 40-40-20. You'll probably find that you're going to have a lot more energy, and you're going to be able to kill your workouts. And so yeah, bump it up and see what happens. Just whatever you do, if you bump it up, keep it there for 3 weeks, and 2 to 3 weeks, and see how your body reacts. And then if you have questions, let me know. But if you're still losing weight in inches, just keep bumping it up. Sounds like you're on the right track. I love it when people get to bump their calories up. It's exciting. Oh, Emily said, I agree with so much of the clean eating thing. I've been eating clean for about 2 weeks, had some Chinese for dinner. It didn't taste good. Yeah, Chinese, I used to love Chinese food, and now it doesn't even sound good to me. It's especially fried stuff just doesn't sound good. Now sushi, give me some sushi any day. I'll kill some sushi.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, I think we got them. Did we get all the questions?
I think so.
All right, so this week's assignment, I saved it till the end. I wanted to save it till the end. We did this last time, and it was really good. So in the kickoff call, I talked to you guys about when I started my weight loss journey, I set a scary goal, and I think it is so important. Goal setting is so important for you guys. You have to know what you're shooting at, and I think Larry even mentioned it, to write a goal down and then reward yourself. When I started, my goal was to get to 215 pounds. I thought that was going to be impossible to do. I ended up getting to 192. So I just didn't set my goals high enough. And I said this in the kickoff call, I wrote down a goal, and it was completely ridiculous. But I like ridiculous goals. I like scary goals. My ridiculous goal was to make the P90X infomercial. And I put it out there for everybody to see, so that I would hold myself to it. And while that hasn't came out, as you guys know, I got to film for it. So it was really cool when I actually got the call from Beachbody that said, "Hey, we want to film you and interview you for the P90X infomercial." It was the coolest thing because I worked so hard for it. So I want everybody to set a really scary goal and post it in the group so everybody can see it. write it down and put it somewhere where you see it every single day. It needs to be right in front of your face every day so that you don't forget about it. One of the reasons we do these calls is, we're volunteering our time every week because we know if we don't communicate with you guys, and we're not posting, and we kind of slack off for 3 weeks, you guys are going to slack off whether you mean to or not. It's just like we just have to be there reminding you guys. It's like out of sight, out of mind, right? If you're not thinking about it, all of a sudden 3 weeks can go by because life's so busy, and all of a sudden you've lost sight of your goals. So put a scary goal down on a piece of paper, put it where you can see it. Even it'd be cool if you guys took a picture of where that scary goal was written down in your house and posted it to the group so everybody can see it. My scary goal at the beginning of this challenge group was actually a year from now to compete in a physique competition, and I have that written down. I have it where I can see it every day because that is the absolute scariest thing I'm ever gonna do. It freaks me out. And every week I'm just like, oh my, I used to think, oh, even 52 weeks doesn't even sound like enough time. It just doesn't sound like enough time. So write a scary goal down, post it in the group. We'll see how many people are watching the calls. It'll be really cool. And, it can be anything. But just make sure it's scary. Don't make it a safe goal. We want it to really push you and see how close everybody can get to their goal. Sound good, guys?
Awesome.
Yeah? All right, cool. All right, well, that's all I've got, unless you guys have anything else. No? All right, guys, have a great week, and let us know if you need anything.
See ya.
All right, later.
See.